বিরতির পর আরো একবার স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি সকালের এই আয়োজনের সাথে আছি আমি জুলহাস জুবায়ের,
সাথে আছে মিরুনি। এটার কতবার বলবো?
যতবারই দর্শক আমাদের দেখবে নতুন ভাবে দেখবে মনে করিয়ে দিব আরেকবার শুভ সকাল। যাই হোক, শুভ সকাল মনে করাতে পারলে কে সাথে আছে তাই মনে করিয়ে দিতে পারি। আর যেমনটি করে বলছিলাম, অভিব্যক্তি প্রকাশের সবচেয়ে বড় সুবিধাটা হচ্ছে আমরা মনের ভাবনাগুলো শক্তভাবে দৃঢ়ভাবে প্রকাশ করতে পারি। এমনই কিছু মানুষের গল্প এই মুহূর্তে দেখাতে চাই যারা অভিব্যক্তি প্রকাশের এক ভিন্ন মাধ্যম বেছে নিয়েছেন। দেখে নিই।
My name is Donald Byrd, and I'm from Seattle, Washington, in the United States. I am a choreographer primarily, but I'm also the artistic director of a dance company in Seattle called Spectrum Dance Theater. Here in South Asia, there are multiple dance traditions here too. So what happens if they also are meeting with each other and then with these multiple Western dance traditions? So it's not just binary, it's not just two, it's just multiple kind of doing that.
My name is Shadow Mantroni. I'm from Seattle, Washington. I'm here as Donald Byrd's assistant. The question that has been coming up a lot is what is contemporary dance for Dhaka, which is different than what contemporary dance is for whatever other country. But really the exploration currently is what we're after, and that's teaching dancers how to think outside of the box.
আমরা যেটা চাইছি যে বিশ্বের নানান দেশের নাচগুলোর সাথে আমাদের দেশের নাচের কোথায় গিয়ে একটা মেলবন্ধন হতে পারে, এমনভাবে মেলবন্ধন হবে যে দুপক্ষের নাচই সমান মর্যাদা পাবে, কিন্তু যেটা সৃষ্টি হবে সেটা নতুন আর সবার ভালো লাগবে।
Dhaka is completely unique. It's crazy. I mean, the traffic is crazy here. People drive. It's absolutely crazy. It's a wild system, but it works. And so part, I think, of what I want to do here is that kind of energy that happens here in Dhaka and the kind of way that people make things work that shouldn't work, that's how they should dance.
অসাধারণ দুটো মানুষের গল্প শুনছিলাম আমরা।
অসাধারণ, এবং অসাধারণ করে তিনি বলেছেন ও কথাগুলো তো মনে পরিচয় করিয়ে
আমি মুহূর্তে পরিচয় করে দিতে চাই। আমার সাথে আজ আমাদের স্টুডিওতে উপস্থিত আছেন নৃত্যশিল্পী এবং প্রশিক্ষণ ডোনাল্ড বার্ড এবং স্টুয়ার্ট মিন্ট্রনি। গুড মর্নিং টু both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning. So this is the very basic question.
Very tough question.
Are you a morning person?
Not really.
Are you a morning person?
Sometimes.
Okay. How do you start your day?
How do
Yes.
I start my day?
Yeah, day as in how do you start your morning?
Morning.
How do I start my morning? Coffee,
Okay.
and then I check my email.
Okay,
Very
bang to
simple.
work. What about Shadow?
Coffee, and then I put my makeup on.
Okay.
Okay.
That's pretty.
Okay. It's good to be beautiful in the early morning.
Yes,
That carries out the whole day. Anyways, I'll get back to the point. We just saw a very beautiful presentation on what you're planning to do or what you're trying to do. As I came across, as I was talking to you, you say that you've been working for a very long time in the industry, last 45 years, and bringing in all the experience of the 45 years coming to my country, how tough you're finding it to melt down with the trend that we have?
I think it's not any tougher than it would be any place else, because there's always a a point where the different cultures, whether it's the culture of a country or the culture of a company, where they kind of bump into each other. And so that's what I'm finding, that where the toughness is when the cultures bump into each other. And so are they going to bump and be like this, or they're going to go
Sync some way.
It's this figuring out how to do it together, which is yes.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, so how you're telling that the city is crazy, the traffic is crazy, but the people, they're still doing things. It's difficult to do, but they're somehow doing it.
Yeah.
Did you try our food?
Absolutely. The
you
food is
like it?
fantastic. Yeah, I like the food very much.
One thing about Runia, whenever she gets time, she goes to the food topic. I'll get back to Shadow with the dancing thing. Shadow, as Donald was mentioning, he's finding a tough time in the meltdown of the process. You have worked closely with the dancers too. What are you finding? What are the toughest part that they're facing?
They're all really eager to learn, but they're all, in their early 20s, maybe late 20s, some of them. So that's 20 years of somebody telling them something else or how to think differently. So they're eager to learn, but it's a matter of breaking a lot of the molds that they have been so used to throughout their lives. So I think that's kind of that's been the challenge so far.
I think the thing, how I've been thinking of is like how to encourage them to do, rather than saying this is how you do it, is to say, think about it differently. Why are you doing it that way? That's the real, to be critical in their thinking about what it is that they're doing. So that's what it is that I'm mostly interested in doing. If there's an expression that says that the body does something and the mind will follow, and so I think that's a little bit of what is we're trying to get their bodies, encouraging their bodies to do things, so and then that this follows.
And they are following, right?
It is following, but sometimes it's like
And they're just dragging it.
you're right. Yes.
As Shadow, you were mentioning that they have learned something for the last 20 years, and bang, someone is telling them something new.
Yeah.
So what do you think? It's not about the new dancers. What do you think? All the teachers who are senior teachers who've been teaching them for the 20 years, how they're adapting the fact that there's a contemporary way of dancing, because it's a completely different thing. Yeah. It's more physical. They're more different way of expressing the art. How they're adapting to it.
Here.
Well, I think with anything, especially in a culture that's so traditional and so everybody's used to the same thing, if one person changes, everybody else has to be willing to change with them, or that person needs to encourage the change and the way of thinking. So you're talking about maybe just dance culture, but really it's an entire culture, and it's the teachers, and it's their current students and students of 20 years ago for the teacher. Everybody has to change together.
I have a slightly different point of view than Shadow. I think it's about coexistence. That you get that the traditional can exist and then the contemporary can exist, and you want to encourage. One does not mean that the other disappears or overwhelms the other or dominates the other. It's that it's an artistic culture that allows for both to exist simultaneously. So these dancers would not be who they are without the training that they've had in the traditional culture. So it's important that they understand that and continue to do that. But there's this other way of doing things too that I would like to encourage them to investigate and to look at as well. So they're happening simultaneously, as opposed to like this is really the one that's in the most important or the most beautiful or the most whatever, that it's not this or it's not that, it's just both or here equally.
It's like not disrespecting one another.
That's
it's like
correct.
grow together.
That's
it's
right.
learning something totally new.
Yes.
Right. Another thing, Donald, I'm very keen to know about this fact, that is, exchange or cultural exchange are always a good place to learn from. What are the main thing that you think that things can be adapted from Bangladesh culture or our traditional culture that you have came across Manipuri style and different other styles? What do you think? What are the best parts that can be taken from there and projected to the rest of the world?
Well, I don't know about the rest of the world, but I certainly know, if the rest of the world is me.
For you, it's the rest of the world.
If I'm the rest of the world, it's certainly my sense of movement language has been expanded, and also my you know, this morning I woke up and I was thinking that in order to kind of to move forward, I have to understand that in the West we think of movement often as abstraction, that it's abstraction, it doesn't have meaning, but maybe to think of it also, and this is something I've learned here, I learned yesterday, I learned here, that gesture may have a specific meaning, and so I have to be conscious of the specific meaning that something has, and not just it existing as abstraction. So that to me, that's big, and so
big.
that I can take that into what I do in the future.
Wow, that would be really amazing because a contemporary dancer, keeping that in mind, what his expression says, that's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
So, Shadow, how long have you been into this culture of contemporary dancing?
I started dancing when I was 3, but
Okay.
I got really serious about dance when I was 18.
Okay,
And
3?
then,
What
yeah.
was I doing? I just learned how to
No,
walk on 3. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's similar. But I've been working with Donald for the past 4 years, and that's I think when my exploration of contemporary dance really started. So, yeah.
So you have been here in for last 1 month and training the students. So when is the program is going to happen?
The
The
performance?
presentation, the performance, right?
Yes.
28th.
28.
Yeah.
And how many students are there?
I think
How many performers would be
Yes.
performing with you?
I think 20, including me.
There's, I think officially it's 17.
We've
Okay.
added
Yeah, but
2.
I'm not sure how many.
Okay.
But I know they're officially 17.
Officially 17.
Yeah.
And it would just be one presentation,
One evening.
one
yes.
evening.
One evening.
And what do you think after that? What happens? The whole idea, what happens? Will there be a continuation to it? You'll
Well-
be leaving the country and never come back, or you want to come back to Bangladesh again?
I want to come back to Bangladesh again. I mean, we're here this time because this is a program that was instigated by the American Center at the American Embassy here in Dhaka, and so and a partnership with Sedona, and so I'm hoping that we will do another one in the future, but because of what we've been doing, even if I have to pay for it myself, I'm curious to come back
And
to
see the development of it.
the development of it. Yes.
Amazing.
And what about you?
Of course, I want to come back. Now, I'm friends with all the dancers now, you know, so I have to come back.
You
and
have your
see.
own reason. Donald has his reason.
Yes.
I believe both of you would be coming here soon again. And now the thing, 28th, the program on the 28th, I hope and I pray that it's a success because we need to change the trend to have something new. Without a change, you cannot have anything new. আমরা যারা দেখছি না, আমরা যারা শুনছি না, আমরা আমাদের অতিথিদের সাথে কথা বলছিলাম যারা বলছিলেন পরিবর্তনের কথা, কারণ পরিবর্তনই এক নতুন যুগের সূচনা করতে পারে। থ্যাঙ্কস টু বোথ অফ ইউ।
Thank you.
Thank you for coming and joining our show.
And exactly, I'm almost at the last place. I would like to know one thing from Donald. Seems to be a very reserved kind of person. How tough teacher he is. I'd like to know from Shadow how tough teacher he is.
Well, as any true artist, he has his moments.
As a teacher,
Okay.
that actually answers everything. As a teacher, he's tough. Anyways, in short, in one line, if I'd like to request you to say something about Bangladesh, what would you say? In short.
In short,
In short.
One line.
one line,
One word.
one word,
One
one
word?
line. Fantastic.
Thank
Amazing.
you.
And what about Shadow?
Fulfilling.
Fulfilling?
Yeah.
That's quite nice, I think. And thank you.
There's a depth to what she said. And we'll try to find out what's the
Fulfilling.
fulfillment.
Yeah.
Fulfilling.
Fantastically fulfilling.
There we go.
Wow, amazing. Thanks to both of you for joining us in the early morning and giving us a little idea. It's a little, as I said, because it's been 45 years that you've been working. 45 years experience cannot be shared in 15 minutes. I'm very sorry on that. And I believe soon we would be having you more as a guest, more into Bangladesh. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
দর্শক, কথা বলছিলাম আমাদের আজকের অতিথিদের সাথে যারা এসে আমাদের জয়েন করেছিলেন এবং তাদের জীবনের অভিজ্ঞতাগুলো আমাদের সাথে শেয়ার করার চেষ্টা করেছেন। নুরিয়া নতুন কিছু শিখেছে, আমি নতুন কিছু শিখেছি। আমি আশা করছি যে আপনারাও নতুন কিছু ইনফরমেশন গ্যাদার করতে পেরেছেন।
এবং সেই নতুন কিছুর খবর সামনে থাকবে, সেই গল্পগুলো সামনে করবো, কিন্তু এই মুহূর্তে নিয়ে নিচ্ছি ছোট্ট একটি বিরতি।
সাথেই থাকেন।